Hi everybody and welcome back to Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. In today's story, OP says that he caught his wife in the act and he's gonna finally talk about it tomorrow. I'm male, 37, married for 13 years, one 8-year-old child. I've had suspicions of my wife being too playful with her co-worker. Over the past couple of months, I've been secretly checking her Insta DMs and they've been chatting a few times a week. But for the most part, nothing specific and completely incriminating had ever been said, so I wasn't comfortable confronting her about it unless I had evidence. I was afraid it was only my paranoia and anxiety. However, she deleted the DMs within every so often, so it made me curious if there had been obviously cheating DMs sent and deleted soon after out of precaution. So that kept me paranoid and anxious, but still without evidence. Well, I have a guy's trip planned out for a few months now, and the night before I left, I checked her DMs and saw some messages that were sent just that night that was very obvious that they were planning to meet up while I was gone. So the first night I was away, I checked her DMs and found out they were chatting at that very moment, and it was romantic and complete evidence that I hadn't been paranoid all this time. I called her on the phone that instant and confronted her and told her that I was watching their conversation and I knew everything. We talked for a few hours, and at the end, I decided that I was not going to cut my trip short because I needed to be away from her until I had some time to sort out my thoughts and options. So, for the past 3 days I've been away, thinking it through, but tomorrow I return home, which means that I'll have to finally confront her face to face for the first time, and we are going to have to talk it all out. Thus far, we have talked twice while I was gone, besides the first night. Both discussions were not super specific, as she said that she doesn't want to have this discussion over the phone. She needs it to be in person. So, I'm not actually entirely sure what they have done so far. When I called her in the middle of her texting session, I asked her what she has done, how long it has been going on, how many people has it been, etc. At first, she refused to answer a single question, saying she only wanted to discuss in person. After an hour or so, she said it had only been via Instagram and never in person. However, I had some doubts about that based on the messages I saw a month ago that seemed to indicate that they have probably met up one day after work. 2 days after I caught her, I talked to her on the phone and let her know that once I got home, I demanded from her that she tell me the truth, the whole truth, and I wouldn't accept any trickle truth situation. If she dared try that with me, then she crossed my line and I would be done. So, she should be very clear that tomorrow I expect complete honesty. So, I can foresee a situation where tomorrow I find out whether it has actually been physical and not just texting. If she doesn't admit to that, it had better be the truth, or I'll be leaving her once I discover otherwise. In the 2 brief conversations we had so far, she seems legitimately sorry and cried throughout the calls. She has been alone for the last 3 days with no distractions from what she's done. Luckily, I've been able to be with my friends, talk with them, and also have some distractions from the situation. She says she's going to be honest, she misses me, and she's sorry. She also said that she's done with that guy and that it was never emotional, only about excitement and the rush of it all, not about connecting with him as an actual crush or anything. Sorry guys, I'm rambling. Basically, I'm wondering what I need to do tomorrow when we discuss. I want to be prepared. I have a 9-hour drive ahead of me to plan and think it through. How do I be sure to get the truth? How do I ensure that I maintain control and I'm the one who's calling the shots? How do I go about this in the best way possible so I can figure things out as best as possible? Edit. The one thing that I think that I should clear up is that the texting was happening on Thursday night and the discussion during the texting was regarding what they were going to do on Friday night. I believe that by me calling on Thursday, right in the middle of her texting, I prevented the Friday night meetup that would have otherwise happened. I think it was the proper decision for me to do what I did, how I did it, considering I was 9 hours away and didn't have many other options. If she hadn't yet slept with him, then I stepped in and stopped that. And that's a good thing, even if you believe I lost some leverage. But I don't think I did. Yes, now she had time to maybe formulate a lie and come up with a plan, or more charitably, it has also given her 4 days of constant guilt, shame, and time to reconsider the choices she was making. I won't know until tomorrow which route she was taking. I have a couple of details that I know from the previous conversations, and I'm going to use those to insinuate that I know more than she thinks I know, and she'd better be honest. End of part 1. We have the update coming up, but before that, if you're enjoying the story so far, please give a thumbs up. Here is the update. It has been physical for about 4.5 months ago. She says it was about once a week. She says it was only in our house, on my couch and our spare bedroom. She said it meant nothing. She says it began because she was curious to sleep with someone else besides me. She says she liked it, but she has no feelings for him, and he was just a toy boy who was using her while she used him. She says she got tired of it, and the fact that it was always only when he dictated it, only in the afternoon after work. She says that even at work, they never talked, never flirted, it was only via Instagram. She says she decided to stop in the beginning of this month because she was feeling depressed and guilty about what she was doing. It wasn't fulfilling emotionally, which was never her desire, and the physical aspect was beginning to cause hurt. Then she did not want to continue. She never actually told him she was done, but she started ghosting him, and she thinks he was starting to get the picture. She said that her planned Friday Fun Fest, while I was out of town, was her attempt at testing the relationship to see whether he was willing to do on her terms for once instead of only his. She says she didn't actually think he'd come over the next day, and that when he didn't, then she'd be clear as to where they now stood, and she could use that to end the summer fling. She says that she now told me everything, and there won't be any trickle-truthing. She says she wants us to be together, and that she'll never do it again. She says she'll go to counseling. She said a lot. I don't know what part of it is real, and what a lie is. I was mostly in shock as I tried to process the information. I have a huge decision to make now, and it's going to take a long time for me to figure this all out. Right now, I'm trying to get my mind straight so I can be clear about what I do. For those of you who have been through this, did you get medication? I'm worried about my mental stability. I'm worried about months and years of constant anxiety, depression, and lack of sleep. Over the past 5 nights, I had 2 completely sleepless nights and only a total of 16 hours of sleep, and that was before I knew the whole truth. I have never been prescribed any. I don't know if it will help or if it's a good idea to look into pharmaceuticals as a potential help. Life is never going to be the same. Part of who I am is tied up in her. I don't know how to extricate her from my being, and there will be a hole on me when I do. I am, by nature, a forgiving, loving, empathetic, and a deep feeler. I'm worried that because of that, I'll make mistakes and not consider myself in the equation. Will I regret not offering her a second chance? Will I regret trying to make it work? Is there any hope in my life what it was supposed to be? Whether I leave her or not, there'll be years of struggling. My world is shattered regardless, and I don't know how to pick up the pieces. It's time we listen to the final update. We're doing about as well as I think could be hoped for so far. It's been just over 3 months, and my panic attacks are less frequent and less consuming, but it's always there. I don't think there's ever been any event in my entire life that I thought of literally every day for over 3 months. It's tiring, frustrating, and depressing. My wife and I are closer than we have been in years, with lots of open honesty, lots of physical touch, intimacy, and otherwise. She is truly doing everything she can for us. We are in counseling and it's helpful, but most of our sessions end up being us recounting our consular what we have already talked about and done, rather than uncovering new grounds during our sessions. But they still help because they guide us for 2 weeks until we meet again. Our counselor once called us the golden couple because how good we are with each other and our relationship. But honestly, we have always been pretty good, which makes the cheating so much harder to understand. Our next biggest hang-up is that she still works with him, and despite her telling him she wants him gone, he is not pursuing a new department or job. In fact, just last week, he tried to start things back up with her, but she shut it down. We are now at the point where we both ready to tell his wife, I wanted to do it since the day, but my wife wasn't sure about it at the time. She is finally coming around. It's easy to say that she should quit, but it's a really good job for her and our family and our schedules. If she switched departments or locations, she'd be the low man on the totem pole and have bad hours, and it would be hard on us. So, we need him to leave. I have a lot of hope that we are going to make it and not only survive infidelity, but to come out stronger than ever. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, comment and share the story if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.